Hi, Deanna.
Hi.
Nice to see you back this week.
You too? Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a long week.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
Had a,
Oh, just lots of papers and everything, so.
oh yeah, you're at the end of your school semester.
Yeah.
So,
Lots of stress.
Pretty full
Not
on.
sleep.
oh. Well, that part as well, I was thinking we could do a little bit of like anti-stress, anti-anxiety, a little sort of centering in the body exercise before we start our session today.
Sure.
Would you be okay with that, or
Yeah.
for the beginning of our session? Okay, so just get you to sit in your chair comfortably, you know, just like shoulders back, and kind of take a minute, and just sort of get here, I'd like you to name 5 things that you see in the room.
TV, chair, beautiful posters, heater, table.
And 5 things that you can hear.
Heater, other people outside. Breathing. How come it's so quiet? That's all I can hear and think of, seriously,
That's
it's
why
3.
it's nice to hear.
So,
And sort of the last could be like either smell or touch. So like we could do 3 as well. 5's too many.
touch, jeans, the fabric on the chair, metal, the rocks, and my water bottle.
Alright, nice. Yeah, so are you feeling a bit better now?
More present.
Yeah, because that's something you could continue. So you could start off with 5. So 5 things you see, either touch or smell, and then hear. But you can work down 4 and 4 and 4. So say if you're like in an overwhelmed and anxious state up there,
Yeah.
just stopping and like, what are 5 things I see right now? What are 5 things I hear right now? And then making your way down to 4, 3, 2, 1, as much as you need to do it.
Yeah.
And,
That sounds.
It's an exercise, and if it, you know, I thought
Yeah.
I'd suggest it, and if you'd like to try it, then
Yeah.
let me know what you think of it.
Yeah.
It's helped for me in the past. Yeah, so your week's been a little bit hard.
Yeah, it's getting better, so.
It's getting better. Yeah.
It's almost over, so.
We talked about some goals last session.
Yeah.
How are those doing?
Well, not too bad. I'm slowly getting there with being able to take time out for myself and just try to breathe through
Mhm.
things. Yeah, there's been just an overwhelming amount of stuff, right? So it's, like I said, it's getting better. There's less on the
Mhm.
horizon, so.
Mhm. So you're finding certain areas like the self-care, like self-care goals we talked about.
Yeah,
harder to-
they're like I say, I've been working on them. They're getting a bit better, but it's like this week has been really horrible, right? I'm not
Mhm.
going to lie about it. It's hard to think about finding a place to be calm or to, you know, take 5 minutes for yourself when you've got
Mhm.
3 papers due and
Yeah.
tests coming up and
Yeah, it's a
15
lot.
forms to write.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and the goals should be something that could either, like the self-care you were talking
Yeah.
about, should be something that would help you versus
Yeah.
in those times.
It's just hard to take the time out. I'm really bad for, you know, I'll think about it and you know, there's several times I do, but then it's, well, I got this to do first and this is more important and this is more important and this is way,
Yeah.
you know, I'm really excited for school to be over so that I don't have to think about
Right,
that anymore.
right.
So.
So if some of those goals aren't attainable in school, you're thinking after school kind of, or?
Oh, yeah. It's been 2 years of every day getting up and from morning until bedtime thinking about what is due next.
Mhm. Well, and that's
Right?
huge in itself, that's a huge accomplishment.
So to be able to not have to think in the morning about what is, from after school's out in the next week, I wake up in the morning and think about the work I have to do, but that's it, going to work and coming home, right? Not
Mhm.
5 papers due and a forum due,
Yeah.
right? So it'll just make less on my plate to be able to find the time to. Plus it's spring, so, you know, now it's
Yeah.
time for gardening and
Exciting.
all that fun stuff, so.
Yeah, I'm hearing you say it's the end of semester, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And that you've been working really hard, sounds like. You're looking forward to the break.
Yes. Very much. Very much, yeah.
And what are some of the things that you're gonna do for yourself after the school?
Well, I've been trying to quit smoking for the last 2 years completely, but I'm to the point where I can now. I just put it off because I was finishing these papers and whatnot. I didn't want to quit. I ended up in the hospital for my stomach, right, due to stress.
Oh,
So
yeah, you were saying.
I didn't want to go there while I was finishing up the end of semester. So I've got all my patches ready and everything. I'm going to quit smoking, and because I've got a really bad cough, that's been really right. So that's one of the things I'm going to do for myself. And then because I'm going to do that to counteract the withdrawals that I'm going to be going through, I'm going to do. I've got an exercise program I do and a walking schedule I do as well. So those should counteract. Being able to get back into them should counteract, because I've been out of doing them for the last probably 3 months now. So yeah.
Some certain areas in your life you haven't been able to do because of school.
Yeah.
And that's sounds like a big, important step to trying to quit smoking again.
Yeah.
And then, so do you have enough support? What are your supports looking like for that?
Well, I've got the same supports I usually always have, but I'm pretty headstrong, so, and I have a lot of things to keep me busy, right? And that's usually what I find for me with quitting smoking. If I can't keep myself occupied, and like that's why it was so hard at school, because I'm just doing schoolwork, right? So you're just sitting most of the time.
Right.
So it's not really keeping yourself occupied in the sense that I mean. I guess I mean physical
Yeah,
activity,
very
right?
cerebral.
So now I'll be busy constantly, right? I've got a garden to put in, and flowers to plant, and freaking a yard to tend to, and all this kind of stuff to do. So I'll be able to keep myself busy so that I'm not so bad with the
Tell me
cigarettes.
more about your garden that you found to plant.
Well, the place I've moved into, it's got, doesn't really have a great gardening area, so I'm gonna do flower boxes. I'm gonna do 4 feet by 2 feet, I think, maybe 3. And do probably 3 of those, and then I've got another garden box that has 3 tiers on it that come out like this. So yeah, and I just wanna plant a bit of everything. I really, I would like to do a big area of strawberries if I could, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll plant a bit of
I
everything.
just put strawberries in last week.
Yeah, I love them. They're so awesome to grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then I'll do my flowers in pots, right, just in individual pots around. I just bought a few the other day. I'm so excited. They're big purple flowers. Big purple, I don't know what they are, but they're big purple flowers. They're really cool.
Yeah, so I detect a lot of enthusiasm about doing some more physical things and getting into your garden after the school's done. And so are you taking a full break from the spring? You don't have any more classes after?
No, I'm done after this, and actually this is my last class, and then I have my practicum from beginning of May to the beginning of June, and I'm done. So,
Wow,
yeah.
well, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's also
Super proud.
a part of the stress.
Right.
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 'Cause
So what are some
everything's
things
done
that-
now, and where do I go from there, right?
Yeah. So what are some things that works for you, or that you notice, like what are your patterns of how do you deal with your stress, like both good or bad, or?
I don't know, I tend to, I found throughout this year when the stress gets the worst, right, with my English, I nearly lost it about 3 weeks ago because thought I was failing, and at first it really devastated me. I was like losing it, and then I tend to switch things around to a focus mode, right? So I break things down into little pieces and focus on the little piece first all the way through, right?
Mhm.
If I don't, I get overwhelmed again and I'll do nothing. I'll just walk away from the whole situation, and I know it. So,
Mhm.
right, it's little pieces and work on that, right, until it's done. That's right.
That sounds like it was an important strategy for you. Sounded
Yeah.
like you were quite overwhelmed, and you were speaking about your English last session we had,
Yeah.
and what was happening with that,
Yeah.
and picked it apart and put it together.
Yeah, and it works, right? For me, that actually really works, and I have been able to accomplish things, so. But there's always that momentary losing it before.
Yeah, I imagine.
Right.
Making
So.
sure you don't have deadlines after.
Yeah.
What else have you found has worked in the past to deal with, like other implementing goals or dealing with stress management?
I've always done lots of walking. That's always been a big thing for me for stress. I like to paint. I'm not good at it, but I like to do it. I don't know, physical activity is something that for me, it really helps with stress, right? Like, I've walked for 3-4 hours before,
Yeah.
just going nowhere, just because
Yeah.
that's what works for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm hearing that you mentioned physical already once, and it's hard when you're sitting in school
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And that unwinding of the mind is with your physical.
Yeah.
So that must be hard, not having one of your main strategies.
Yeah, it's been, and usually I used to do a walking video in the house, but the place I live in, the floor is like this. So you can't really walk in there.
So you actually have a walking video in your room?
Yeah. I can do,
Oh.
yeah. Because you can't always get outside, right?
Yeah.
In the wintertime, it's horrible.
So you just put the video up and you walk to it? Great.
Yeah, it's a whole body workout, right?
Mhm.
It's not you do all kinds of different stuff with it, but it just, when I can't get out to walk, my back, like I've had a bad back since I was 12 years old, right? So if I can't get out to walk, I start to get crippled up,
Mhm.
right? Especially if I have to sit all the time. So yeah, I had to get a walking video.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Kamloops, we lived there for 10 years, and you can't. The sidewalks in the wintertime, the city snow plowing and sidewalk plowing is not the same as out here.
Right.
At all.
In the winter.
Yeah.
Well, so far, we've covered a little bit of if you want to take on that exercise for anxiety.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about where you're kind of taking that goal of non-smoking and some more physical stuff after the semester. You want to continue them after the
Yeah.
semester. And the gardening sounds very exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited.
And then just the supports around that, and how you're gonna enjoy the unwind.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you had a couple of great patterns within school that you really used well to cope too, so just sort of like.
Yeah, it's hard to look at when you're in it for sure, but yeah, it's just over. That's all.
Yeah.
I've been so ready for it to be over since Christmas, so
Yeah.
I'm glad it's
Yeah.
winding down now. So
Right. And we've talked a bit about, oh yes, my rocks. If you want to take a rock with you, we talked about rocks. We talked a bit about the emotions accompanying the overwhelmment before in some of our sessions. So I brought some homework. It's from more of a DBT skills group. So it's about emotional regulation. And we were just talking about when you do feel overwhelmed and then having to cycle through the emotions and like sometimes not having an outlet for that. And we also talked about that around smoking, I believe, last time. So I brought you some charts, and that's just to kind of like be able to chart. You don't have to do it diligently, but it's just to observe your emotions through the day, especially in those periods when you feel overwhelmed and stressed.
Yep.
And then other times when you feel less, so that I had written down like the days of the week here, and then just different emotions like anger, sadness, joy, anxiety, calm, like just kind of charting your own moods.
yeah, where you're at.
And it kind of gives you an idea of your own patterns and how you react to some of the stressors or the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you that, and yeah. And also, is there anything else you'd like to talk to me about, or anything, like any feedback, like what you found helpful or not helpful from the session, or?
No, I've been really, the charts are really great. I'm looking forward to doing that, because I think it's a really good thing to chart, figure out.
I know it's hard to give homework when you've had so much homework.
It's a whole lot different
But
kind
just
of
sort of
homework.
more in a mindfulness, starting to observe kind of
Yeah.
that place.
Yeah, that's great. And
Yeah.
same with the counting down thing, the counting the things around me. That should be helpful too.
Mm.
Yeah, another thing I usually do a lot is my breathing. I'm not so big on breathing exercises, but I focus on my breathing.
Right.
So that
Great.
I don't get that bad of anxiety. Like I used to get it so bad that it was the only way I could
Feel like you can't breathe.
Right, is to count my breathing so that I made sure I breathe. Right? Okay, in and out.
Well, if there's
It doesn't
exercises
get
that
that
work
bad.
for you, that
Yeah.
might be a good thing to look at.
Right.
But, maybe we should, even if we can do it together next time when we
Yeah.
come in, we're running time now, but maybe we can do the breathing exercise at the beginning
Yeah,
and see how that goes.
sure.
And I wish you the best of
Well, thank you.
unwinding the next couple of weeks,
Right.
and I look forward to seeing you again.
Definitely.
All right,
Bye.
thank
Have a
you.
good day.